Ferrari has been working behind the scenes on something major, and it might just be coming together at the perfect moment. As Red Bull starts to show signs of inconsistency and McLaren continues to lead the way, Ferrari made their biggest step forward yet during the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend. This wasn't a small step, it was a clear sign that the SF25 is starting to come alive. Now, with another round of upgrades set to be introduced for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah, the game could be about to change completely. The clearest sign of Ferrari's progress came from the new floor that was introduced in Bahrain. According to sources close to the team in Maranello, the new floor is worth at least 1/10 of a second per lap, or about 5 downforce points. That might not sound like much at first, but in the tight and highly competitive 2025 season, that's a significant leap forward. In Bahrain, Charles Leclerc's pace on the medium tires was particularly impressive. At one point, he was consistently 1.5 tenths faster than McLaren's Oscar Piastri. If Ferrari can repeat that kind of performance in Jeddah, a track that rewards mechanical grip and strong balance through medium-speed corners, they could be looking at regular podiums, and maybe even a shot at winning. But the floor wasn't the only change Ferrari made. They also introduced updated rear brake ducts, a revised exhaust design, and a small tweak to the rear wing. All of these changes were perfectly legal under the current FIA rules, and didn't need to be formally declared. While each change may be small on its own, together they create a stronger, more balanced car. The man behind this aggressive development path is Enrico Cardilli, who is pushing hard to make the SF25 competitive again. The team also solved a supply issue related to the gearbox, which had been causing reliability concerns earlier in the year. Everything is starting to come together. Ferrari isn't focusing on championship positions just yet. Instead, they're putting all their energy into unlocking more performance from the car. But there's another major factor behind the renewed optimism in Maranello, and that's Lewis Hamilton. After a rough start to his Ferrari career, Hamilton seems to be figuring out how to get the most out of the SF25. In Bahrain, he qualified in 9th, but drove a calm, smart race to finish 5th. It wasn't just the result that impressed people, but the way he drove. He showed patience, confidence, and control, classic Hamilton qualities. Speaking to the media after the race, Hamilton explained that switching to a new car after so many years with Mercedes has been a huge adjustment. He said he's slowly starting to understand how the SF25 wants to be driven. And this goes deeper than just car setup, it's about instinct. Hamilton even switched from Carbone industry brakes to Brembo brakes, which changed how the car feels under braking. In Formula One, braking isn't just about pushing the pedal, it's a feel, a rhythm. Hamilton had to completely retrain his muscle memory to match the Ferrari's behavior. But now, he says he's finally figured it out, and he's confident that things will only get better from here. In Bahrain, Hamilton pulled off some crucial overtakes, including on Yuki Tsunoda and even Max Verstappen. These moves weren't reckless, they were precise and calculated. Combined with his ability to manage tire wear, especially on the medium compound, Hamilton becomes a serious threat on race day. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, had a steady and solid performance all weekend. Even though he dropped from 3rd to 4th, his pace, especially on the mediums, was impressive. The car looked much more stable than before, and both drivers now seem to be getting comfortable with it. Team principal Fred Vasseur praised Hamilton's mindset and dedication. He pointed out that replacing 12 years of experience with one team in just a few races is not easy. But what's promising is Hamilton's willingness to adapt. Vasseur also made it clear that Ferrari will adjust the car to suit Hamilton, but Hamilton also needs to adjust himself. This balance between driver and car is what could make Ferrari a real contender again. In today's F1, even being a few tenths off can mean dropping several positions. So every small improvement counts. Ferrari is realistic. They know McLaren is still ahead, and Red Bull isn't out of the picture either. But the mood within the team is shifting. The SF25 is no longer seen as a flawed design, but as a car that is steadily improving. And the key to this progress lies not just in upgrades, but in the chemistry between the drivers and the team. In Jeddah, a smoother and faster track that requires strong aerodynamics, Ferrari will face a major test. If the car performs well there, it will be proof that the development direction is right. Hamilton and Leclerc are starting to work more closely together. Even though they have different personalities and driving styles, there's mutual respect between them. This is already showing in how they collaborate with the technical team. After Bahrain, Hamilton gave detailed feedback on things like pedal mapping, gear shifts, and steering feel, areas that Leclerc had already worked on. By combining their insights, Ferrari now has more data than ever to improve the SF25. Engineers say the two drivers now meet frequently with technical staff, which is unusual and shows their shared commitment. Hamilton's influence isn't limited to the car's setup. Inside the garage, there's a new energy. Team members report a greater sense of urgency and preparation. As one mechanic put it, Hamilton brings a certain standard, not just in performance, but in how the team prepares. Everything is tighter and more focused, and this cultural shift may be just as important as any technical upgrade. Looking ahead, Ferrari has more changes coming. They plan to improve the rear aerodynamics, optimize the cooling systems, and reduce drag in time for upcoming races in Imola and Barcelona. But Jeddah will be the real test. If Ferrari can take what they learned in Bahrain and apply it successfully on a street circuit, then they are on the right path. If Hamilton continues his upward trajectory and Leclerc keeps delivering strong performances, Ferrari could become serious title contenders again. What's even more exciting is that this might not just be a temporary boost. Ferrari appears to be undergoing a deeper transformation. For years, they've struggled with internal issues, poor communication, overly cautious strategies, and failed promises. But in 2025, things feel different.